notice, and this is a typical copyright. We continue with the mathematics syllabus for CSEC 2018 to 2027. Schedule of videos, Section 1, Number Theory and Computation. All 33 of those videos have already been published in their entirety on YouTube. Section 2, Consumer Arithmetic. All 12 of those videos have already been published on YouTube in their entirety. Section 3, Sets. This is the 6th of 6 videos in this section to be published as soon as I finish this. And then after that, in December, Measurement, January 2025, Statistics, February 2025, Algebra, March 2025, Relations, Functions, and Graphs, and April 2025, Geometry and Trigonometry, and finally, by May 2025, mid-May, Vectors and Matrices, and that will take care of all the objectives in this syllabus. Just a reminder, Section 1, Number Theory and Computation. I have divided that into 33 videos, and as I just pointed out, they are all available in their entirety on YouTube. This section, that is Section 1, forms the foundation on which the rest of the syllabus is based. How well you can handle this section will predict how well you will be able to do with the rest of the syllabus. So please make sure you look at those 33 videos as many times as required and you know them well. Another reminder that you need to know the times tables 2 to 12. If you don't already know them, you would have to learn them, especially in the light that calculators are not allowed in paper 1. Section 2, all 12 videos have been published, as I said. So between sections 1 and 2, 4 to 5 videos have been published on YouTube in their entirety. And from section 3, 5 more. That is to say, these 5 up here. And we are now at the 6th video in this section, which is based on objectives 7 and 8 combined. Well, there's not much to do with 8, mainly 7. Now, all 6 of these videos will be published in their entirety on YouTube. As a matter of fact, 5 of them have already been published. From section 4 and onwards, only a few videos will be published in their entirety. Others will only be partially available on YouTube as notification if you are subscribed to this channel. If you want to see those partially published videos, you will be redirected to another site where a reasonable subscription fee is required. So as I said, we finish all these 4. And then we did that and this one down here. So right now we are here at objective 7. Use Venn diagrams to represent relationships among sets. And there is no explanatory notes here. So we will have to use our common sense and look at past papers and see what we can do with this. So that was the last objective we did, objective 6, which says draw Venn diagrams, but in the process, we also learned how to interpret them. And now we are looking at use Venn diagrams. I'm not too sure how this objective is different from that one up there, but we will do something about it as it relates to past papers and typical examination questions. Having said that, let's consider 5 simple questions that I have put together, and that will be followed by 5 CSEC questions on Venn diagrams from past examination papers. So let's consider the 5 simple ones that I put together. Example 1. You have the universal set made up of the English alphabet. You have one subset here made up of the vowels in the English alphabet. Now, in the diagram at the right, the part shaded black can best be described as U. Is this part shaded black the universal set? Could be if we didn't have this piece in here. But as it stands, this black part here does not represent the universal set. So that is out. Next, U intersection V. Now that doesn't make sense because U is everything. So that doesn't make sense. V complement. V prime, V complement means everything outside of V. And yes, this looks reasonable, so we can hold that for the time being and say that is fine. Let's look at the other answer. U complement union V. That doesn't make sense. What is U complement? So our answer to this is C. Example 2, we have a universal set here that is made up of natural numbers 1 to 20. You have one subset here that says even numbers, and another subset here that says multiples of 3. Remember, that would be all within this universal set here. And now the question is, in the diagram at right, the part shaded white can best be described as, okay, let's see the part shaded white. That's this part here. E union T. Not quite. E union T would be everything in E and T. That is not this part shaded white. So that is out. E intersection T complement. No, that would be everything outside of E intersection T. So that would be everything that you see here, there, except this piece in between here. So that is wrong. Next, E intersection T. E intersection T. That seems to be right for the time being. Let's see if the other answer is better. E complement intersection T. E complement intersection. No, that's not correct. So our answer for this is C. This shaded part here in white is E intersection T. It's the area that is common to both E and T. Example 3, we have another universal set here that says natural numbers 1 to 30. We have one subset here that says even numbers, E. Another subset here that says T, multiples of 3. And the question is, in the diagram at right, the part shaded black can best be described as, okay, the part shaded black actually excludes everything from E and T. So as you could see, if we union E and T and take the complement, so let's look for that. First answer is E union T. No, E union T would be everything in E and T. That is wrong. E intersection T. That is wrong too, because that would be just this little piece in between here, in between here. So that is wrong. Next option, E union T prime. Okay, that would be everything outside of E and T. That seems to be fine. Let's see what the next answer is. E prime intersection T. No, we are just dealing with this black part out here. So the answer here is C. E union T complement. Whatever is outside of E and T. Example 4. In the diagram at right, the part shaded solid black can best be described as, okay, that's a solid black, we're not finished. You students in grade 10 who play sports. You have one subset here, which is C. We will assume that is cricket. Another subset here is F, let's say football. And another subset here, T, and that would be, say, tennis. This part out here excludes everybody who play cricket, football, and tennis. Either one or two or three. Excludes everybody. So let's see what our answer choices are. C, union F, union T, complement. Okay, this seems correct for the time being. It's everything outside of C and T and F. Next one, C intersection F intersection T complement. Well, that is not correct because that would be everything outside of this little piece here. Because this here is C intersection F intersection T. Its complement would be everything outside of that, including whatever else is in F and C and T, and of course out here. So that one is out. That is wrong. Next choice, U union C, what is U union C, union F, union T. U by itself is everything. So no, that is out. And C union F union T, that would be everything in these ovals, not outside these ovals. So we are back to this. So A is the correct answer there. The black portion is everything outside of C and F and T, but within the universal set. And then example 5 says this. If the cardinality of P is 12, and the cardinality of Q is 8, and the cardinality of P intersection Q is 3, what is P union Q? Now, we don't have a diagram here, but we have a formula. And the formula says that the cardinality of P union Q, which is what we want to find, is the cardinality of P plus the cardinality of Q minus the cardinality of P intersection Q. So let's apply those numbers. Cardinality of P is 12, that's that. Cardinality of Q is 8, which is this. And the cardinality of P intersection Q is 3, so we put 3 there. So when we work that out, we should get 12 and 8, 20 minus 3, 17. That's what we should get. So let's look for that answer. So 20 is wrong. 17 we already worked out is true. 23 is wrong because somebody went ahead and added 12, 8, and 3. And then 1 is also wrong because it looks like somebody took the 12 and subtract 8 and subtract 3. So as we said, we worked out our answer to be 17. Let's verify that, of course. Let's say this is the universal set. That's P, that's Q. We have 3 here. And if we have 3 there, then the remainder here will be 9 because remember we have 12 in this subset P. And of course, Q will be 5 because we have 8 in the subset Q. So that 3 and 5 would give us 8. So if we add all of that, what will we get? 9 plus 3 plus 5, and we get 17. This is a different way of getting 17. But without this diagram, we need to be able to work it out using this formula up here. That's the 5th example of the simple questions that I put together. Now, if you find this video useful and interesting, please like and share. Like and share. You may also consider subscribing to this channel. It means a lot to me if you'd subscribe. So now we turn to the 5 CSEC questions on Venn diagrams from past examination papers. One disclaimer. The following 5 partial questions on this topic, taken from past CSEC Mathematics Paper 2, are used under the fair use doctrine. So no copyright has been infringed. So example 1, and this is from May 2011. Now, this is the question. I know it's not clear, and I will write it over properly in the next slide. But essentially, you have some details here, and you have a Venn diagram here, and then you have 3 questions here for a total of 5 marks. So this is the question, and this is the Venn diagram, so you could see it clearer. And you were given all of these that you see on the slide right now. So it says, the Venn diagram below, in this case it would be at right, shows the number of students who study music and art in a class of 35 students. So straight off, you know the universal set is 35. U represents the universal set. M, the students who study music. And of course, A represents the student who study art. Now, how many students study neither art nor music? So how many students do you have that are not in that blue and red circle? And the answer, of course, is 4. Now, that is pretty easy. Everybody, I think, should be able to answer that. So 4 students study neither art nor music. Part 2 says, calculate the value of X. Now, remember we said there are 35 students in this universal set. So if you add everything in there, you should get 35. So you can say X plus 5, that is this, plus 8, which is that, plus that X, which is that. You can add a plus 4 on this side, the left-hand side of the equation, and say equal 35. But what I have done, I have removed the 4 from the 35 to give us just what is the union of M and A. So I put the minus 4 on this side. So that's our simple equation. We will solve it. 2x plus 13 is equal to 31. And you solve that and you get x is equal to 9. That was part 2 for 3 marks. So that there was for 1 mark. This here is 3 marks. And finally, part 3 for 1 mark, it says hence, which means that you have to use what you just did in part 2. State the number of students who study music. So we know music alone is x plus 5, and we just calculated that x is 9. So music alone will be 9 plus 5, which is this, which gives us 14. So 14 students study music only, and that's for 1 more mark. So there are your 5 marks. Now, before you go, remember I told you to verify your answer if you can, or look at your answer and see if it is reasonable. So let's verify our answer here. This is 14, we said. That is 8. This is 9. And of course, this is 4. If we add everything in here, we should get 35. If we don't get 35, or one or more of those answers is wrong. So on the left-hand side of our equation would be 14 plus 8 plus 9 plus 4. Now, is that equal to 35 on the right-hand side? Yes. So we know our answers are correct. Now, this is an important step that many students forget. Example 2. So again, you have some information here. You have a Venn diagram here, and then you are asked 3 questions. Well, part 1 for 1 mark, and part 2 has an A for 2 marks and a B for 2 more marks, which gives a total of 5 marks. So let's see that clearly. This is the question. The universal set U has the members B, D, E, F, G, I, K, S, T, V, and W. The Venn diagram at right shows, well, below shows U. Here it will show up as at right. And the 3 sets M, P, and R, which are subsets of U. So here is the Venn diagram that you were given. Okay, that is what you were given. Now, you are asked to state the value of the cardinality of P union R, not all the members, just the number of members. And then you are to list the members of P intersection M and M union R. Complement. So let's deal with question part one. P union R, how many members do we have there? That is everything in P and R, even if it is also in M. That's not our concern right now. P and R. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in P, and then you have these additional 2 in R. So that should add up to 8. So P union R, the cardinality is 8. Now, if they had asked you to list the subset, then you would have had to list all those letters that I just called out there. That is for 1 mark. So hopefully we got the 1 mark there. So we finished with that, which was this. We got 1 mark for that. Now we are here. List the members of M intersection P. M intersection P. That would be the area common to both M and P, which will be here. M and P, even if that D is also in R, that doesn't concern us right now. What are the members common to both M and P? And that would be B and D. And that's for 2 more marks. The next question says M union R complement. Now do not confuse that with M union R complement. That's a completely different question. So let's see. What are the members in M? And we have B, D, K, and I. What are the members in R complement? That is everything outside of R. R complement would be, remember, everything outside of R. So it would be B, K, V, S, T, and W. B, K, V, S, T, and W. Now we want to find a union of that, of these 2 subsets here. What is common to both of them? So M union R complement would be B once, D, K listed once, I, V, S, T, and W. V, S, T, and W. So that's for another 2 marks, just in case you are confused about this. Now, if you had to list M union R complement, that would be everything outside of M union R, which would be V, S, T, and W. Think of it this way. 3 plus 4 squared is something different from 3 plus 4 squared. So here you're squaring the 4 and add the 3. Here you add the 3 and 4, and then you square that answer. So you need to look carefully at what you are asked. Okay, that was question example 2. Example 3 from May 2012. So this is the question up here. You're given some information, and then you're given a Venn diagram, and you are asked some questions. Yeah, 2 marks here, and 1 there, and 2 here. So 5 marks, again, 5 marks. So the question actually says, in a survey of 36 students, it was found that 30 play tennis, X play volleyball only, 9X play both tennis and volleyball, and 4 play neither tennis nor volleyball. Given that U is the students in the survey, and V is the students who play volleyballs, and P would be students who play tennis, copy and complete the Venn diagram below to show the number of students in the subsets marked Y and Z. And you were given this. That is what you were given. Now, in 2012, they may have asked you to copy and complete it. Now they may not ask you to copy it, they just complete it. But anyway, we have copied it here. Let's complete it. We want to know what is this and what is that based on the data we have so far. Well, we know that P has 30 students, and we know that out of those 30, 9x play volleyball as well. So how many play tennis only? And it would be 30 minus 9x. 30 minus 9x. And we are given that this Z here, we are given that 4 play neither tennis nor volleyball. So we can easily fit in that 4. So that's part 1 for 2 marks. So part 2, write an expression in X to represent the total number of students in the survey. There's several ways you could do that, but the one I'm going to use is this. I'm going to add up everything that you see in here. This, that, this is in terms of X. I'm not going to use Y, and I'm going to use that 4. So if you add up everything in there, you should get 36. So X plus 9X plus 30 minus 9X, that is this, plus 4. That's our expression. That's everybody. And when you simplify that, you get X plus 34. So that is our answer. A, part 2A is X plus 34. You may have to show that working. And then part B says, write an equation in X to represent the total number of students in the survey and hence solve X. So you're writing an equation now. Up here, you were just writing an expression. Now you're writing an equation. So our equation would be X plus 34 is equal to 36. That is to say, this here is equal to 36 because this is everybody in the survey, and everybody in the survey is 36. So our equation is X plus 34 is equal to 36. We will solve this equation and we will get X is equal to 2. So we get X is equal to 2. Let's fill that in. You don't have to do this, but I am doing it as the final step that you need to do to ensure that your answer is correct. So this X here is 2. This is 9X, so that would be 18. This is 30 minus 9X, that would be 30 minus 18. So this is 12, and of course this is 4. Now if we add up all these numbers, 2, 18, 12, and 4, we should get 36, just to make sure that our answer is correct. So 2 plus 18 plus 12 plus 4, that's on the left-hand side of our equation. And we do have 36 on the right-hand side of our equation. So we know that these answers and these expressions are correct. Example 4. Again, you have some data given up here. You're given a Venn diagram. 3 marks there, 1 mark here, and 2 marks there for the various parts. Let's look at that closer. A survey of 30 students in Form 5 showed that some students use cameras, C, or mobile phones, M, to take photographs. 20 students use mobile phones. It didn't say mobile phones only. They use mobile phones. 4X students use only cameras. X students use both mobile phones and cameras. And 2 students did not use either cameras or phones. Okay, let's look at the diagram that you were given. So this is what you were given. This information here and that outline of a Venn diagram. Nothing filled in. You were to copy the Venn diagram and complete it to show in terms of X the number of students in each region for 3 marks in terms of X. So let's start filling in the easiest part. 2 students did not use either camera or phone, so we could easily fit those 2 students out here. We also know that X students use both mobile phones and camera, so that would be this part in here. So we put X here. We know that 4X students use only cameras, not phones, not mobile phones. So we'll put that in this part here, 4X. We know that 20 students use mobile phones, but out of those 20, X also use camera. So we'll subtract the X, so we get 20 minus X. And I think that takes care of part 1. We're to complete the Venn diagram in terms of X to show the number of students in each region. So that's our 3 marks there. Part 2 says, write an expression, not an equation, in terms of X, which represents the total number of students in the survey. Well, you just add up everybody in here. 4X and 20 minus X and 2. That's everybody in the survey. So this total number of students in the survey will be 4X, that's this, plus X, that's this, plus 20 minus X, that's this part here, plus these 2 out here. That's our expression. We have to simplify it, of course. And when we simplify it, we get 4X is equal to 22. That's our expression. Part 3, determine the number of students in Form 5 who use only cameras. Now remember, that is this, 4X. But you see, we have here 4X plus 22. So you have 4X plus 22. That's everybody in here. And that is equal to 30 because the universal set is 30 students. Sometimes we forget that. And then we solve this and we get 4X is equal to 8. Now you can solve for X and then go back to multiply it by 4, but you don't need to go any further because it is 4X that we want to find. So you can stop right there. No further working needed. We want to find 4X and we have 4X. So 8 students in Form 5 use only cameras. One last step, let's verify our answer. If this is 8, this here is 2, that there is 18, and this is 2. If we add up all of that on the left-hand side of our equation, we should get 30 on the right-hand side. So let's see. 8 plus 2 plus 18 plus 2 on the left-hand side, is that equal to 30 on the right-hand side? And the answer is yes. So we know that answer is correct. So we know these answers are correct that we have here. Finally, example 5. Again, you have some data here. You have a Venn diagram here, just an outline of a Venn diagram. It says copy the Venn diagram shown below for 1 mark. And then for 2 more marks and 3 more marks, you have part 2 and part 3. So let's see what that looks like since you cannot see this clearly here. So it says a school has 90 students in Form 5. 54 students study physical education. 42 students study music. 6 students study neither physical education nor music. And X students study both physical education and music. Copy the Venn diagram below. All right. So that is the Venn diagram that you were supposed to copy for 1 mark. That was in 2009. Maybe they have changed up the examination question now, where you have to submit, instead of written script, you submit the examination paper itself that you write on. So this may no longer be part 1 for 1 mark. But if you had to do it, you can do it. Part 2 says, show on your Venn diagram the information relating to the students in Form 5 for 2 marks. So you have to fit in all this information you see up here. All. That 90, this 54, that 42, that 6, and this X. So we know 6 students study neither physical education nor music, so that is the easiest to fill in. The next easier one will be those who study both physical education and music. That's in this space here. And that is X. So we have that. We have 54 students studying physical education. So this part out here will be 54 minus that X, because those X students also study music. And over on this side here, we have 42 students who study music. But remember, this part out here will be that 42 minus this X. So we have 42 minus X. And one last thing to fill in, which we sometimes forget, is the universal set is 90. And that should take care of 2 more marks. Part 3, calculate the number of students who study both physical education and music. In other words, form an equation with X and solve it. So we need an equation with everything in here, and it must be equal to 90. So we will add that, and put it equal to 90. So 54 minus X plus 42 minus X plus 6 equal to 90. We will solve this equation to find for X. And when we solve it, we get X is equal to 12. So once we get this 12, that is this area here, the students who study both physical education and music, and the answer to that is 12. Now remember the last step. Let's check those answers to see if we are correct. This is 12. This will be 42, 54 minus 12. This will be 30. So if we add all these numbers, 42 and 12 and 30 and 6, we should get 90 on the right-hand side of the equation. So 42 plus 12 plus 30 plus 6, that's the left-hand side of our equation. It is equal to 90, which is the right-hand side of the equation. So we know that is correct. And that brings us to the end of this objective. Hopefully, we have completed that objective. Use Venn diagram, draw Venn diagram, and that should suffice for objective 7. Now, you may be asking about objective 8. Now, objective 8 is used in each of these sections as we meet them. In algebra, we will use the concept of sets, and in geometry. So as we meet them, we will accomplish objective 8. We will use the concept of sets in those as we meet them. And that should suffice for this objective video. That brings us to the end of this video, which is based on objective 7 in section 3. And that also brings us to the end of section 3 on sets. So when I finish editing this and uploading it, you would have had all the videos in sections 1, 2, and 3 uploaded and published on YouTube in their entirety.